Hello, everyone. The purpose of this video is to show you how to cite an interview in MLA format. There are two different formats at work here, so let's get started with the first one. This first one is how to cite an online interview in MLA format. So if you're watching a recorded interview, like of Karen Rinaldi on YouTube, that would fall under the category of citing an online interview, okay? So let's jump in. So here's how we cite it in the works cited to show that some of the information in our paper is from this interview, or we're talking about it, right? Writing about it. This is the general format that you're going to follow. Last name of the interviewee, that means the person being interviewed, their first name, interview by, the person asking the questions, the platform it's on in italics, the date of the interview, the URL, meaning like the link, and then the date that you accessed it or watched it. So let's take a look at what this looks like for our video this week. I have Rinaldi, Karen, interview by Abigail Michelini, because I'm the one who did the interview. I posted this on YouTube. This interview was conducted in August of 2022. Here's the link to it. And this is a false date of access. I just made up a date here, okay? So you would put the date that you actually watched the interview there. You can literally pause this video and copy and paste this format into your own works cited, okay? I've sort of done it for you here, but you do need to change that access date. And this is going to be the way that you would cite any online interview. So whether that be in my class or another class, if you're using MLA format, you can follow this general format, okay? As a reminder, it's not just text that you would list in the works cited, it's literally any sort of video or audio or anything that you use in order to incorporate that information into the paper you're writing, be it a journal response or a paper for another class. The works cited goes at the end in its own page, and you can use that MLA format provided. But you might have a question here. What about the in-text citation? The first part of the works cited still goes in the body of your paper as the in-text citation. So as a refresher, how do we do that again? Let's say we're writing along our journal response and we need to incorporate a quote from Rinaldi in the text. We could write something like, when Rinaldi said, "I can't think about what the end product is," I could definitely relate, okay? This is an effective way of citing. This is in the sentence itself, so I don't need to put her last name at the end here. And of course, there's no page numbers because it's a video. So the only way that I need to cite in text is by using her last name. I can do that in the sentence, or I can do it at the end here in parentheses. Either way is totally fine. It's up to you. So this one says, at one point in the video, she says, "I can't think about what the end product is." And then I've chosen to put her name at the end here as well. Both are absolutely correct. Okay, so you're welcome to do either one. As a reminder, whenever you have a quote or information from another source that's not your own brain, you need to cite it at the end of the sentence. Citing is the last name of the author here because there's no page numbers, and the citation goes inside the period. Okay, so this week, you are going to watch Rinaldi's interview if you haven't already, and then you're going to choose a quote or paraphrase from that interview and cite it in the works cited page and in the text, okay? Now, there's one more thing I want to go over in this video, and that's because we're going to use it in the future. So you can always come back to this part of it, but there is a difference between an online interview between two people who are not you and an interview that you yourself conduct, okay? So later on in this class, you will be conducting a personal interview, and I just want to show you what that looks like briefly here. And again, you can always come back to this. So if you're citing a personal interview, that means you did the interviewing. You yourself asked the questions of the person that's being interviewed. It's a totally different citation format, okay? The works cited is really easy. It's the last name of the person you were interviewing, their first name, the fact that it was a personal interview, and the date of the interview. You don't even have to include your own name because you did the interviewing, so you don't have to cite yourself. So if you interviewed Sam Rodriguez, you would write Rodriguez, Sam, personal interview, and then whatever date that you interviewed Sam. If you're citing it in text, like Sam shared that it made her feel light and happy, you would then put Rodriguez in parentheses at the end, just like Rinaldi, okay? No need to include your own name anywhere, all right? So that's a note for the future, this distinction between a personal interview and watching an online interview. All right, that about wraps us up here. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Take care.